Hey guys, Czar checking in with you. Hope all is well. It's Monday, March 20th. Watching the NASDAQ here as we speak. Market's just opened, well, about 7 minutes ago, so it's 9:37 a.m. And I'm just watching this initial candle here selling off down. I'm going to revise this zone from the pre-market. We're going to make that a resistance right there as we watch this opening range complete in the next few minutes. Let's go over to the 10-minute chart. I often use the first 10-minute candle as my minimum opening range, right? And so what that means is, let me just put another little zone in here so I can show you what I mean by that. This is the first 10-minute candle of New York, and so that will often become my minimum open range. And so I'd put a range marker, something like that, but I would also include nearby support and resistance. So I wouldn't just end it here with this one candle. Of course, this candle's not finished yet. There's still 2 minutes left, or a minute and a half. We'll wait for that. But what I'll do is actually expand it to include that support that you see there. The support you see right down here, right? So that's my minimum opening range. And what I would also do is include nearby resistance. And so that would be here. It might even go as high as that wick, but I'll certainly use the bodies as a bare minimum. And that happens to coincide with the support or the resistance zone, pardon me, that we had drawn pre-market. And so now I'm watching for this candle to close on this in this 1 minute countdown. And then we will have my minimum open range. I can't speak for you, of course, but that's what I typically do, just to let that kind of opening range chaos play out. Let's also go over to the three sisters. We got the NASDAQ, S&P, and Dow here. I'm just going to reset these charts so that they include all information, and you'll see that we have the London Open from this morning here, the blue line, and the New York Open that just happened 10 minutes ago, 9-10 minutes ago. And you'll see here something similar on the S&P, of course. And so what I'm going to do now is align the New York Opens here on all three of these, the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ, so we can get an idea of synchronicity or incongruency between these indices, and we'll see what's going on here. We'll try to get a feel for the way this thing is opening up. And what you will see is that we got a bit of a mixed bag, right? There is some divergence happening here. The NASDAQ is trading below the New York Open today, which only opened 10 minutes ago. The S&P is trading on or slightly above the New York Open, and the Dow is trading more significantly above. And so we're going to watch this play out and see if these kind of synchronize. You see the NASDAQ seems to be being pulled up by the other two here, and that's not necessarily the way to think about it, but that's sometimes the way that I'll frame it so that my brain can wrap some kind of a trade idea around it, or potential trade idea, certainly a directional bias idea. All right, I'll bring you back to the trading screen. We'll see the minimum open range. I'm going to delete this marker now because now you understand what I'm looking at. And so I typically won't even take a trade until we break out of that minimum open range, which really means this whole thing that we see here. That's the NASDAQ. Let's go over to the S&P 500. Not exactly the same picture, but some kind of similarity happening here. Got this opening range. Okay, this is the 10-minute chart now. I'll often use the 30-minute chart. Let's take a look at the Dow. All right, the Dow's looking interesting here, guys. Why? Well, we've rallied all the way up here. Let's pretend we had looked at this earlier. We'll see a zone completion here in this early part of the session. And now, potentially, either a break and a close above here for a bullish move higher. The Dow is 230 points in the positive, or 73 basis points up, whereas the NASDAQ's actually down 30 basis points. This is the futures contract, of course, that started trading last night at 6 p.m. my time, New York time. I'm now going to take you back to the NASDAQ. We're going to take a look at what's happening here, kind of range bound. Remember that minimum opening range. And I'm going to basically pause it here, guys. I'm going to pause the video, and I just wanted to set the stage, and I'll bring you back, and we'll see if any trades materialize here for us, some optimal setups. We'll see. Pause now. Hey guys, I'm back, and a lot of time has passed. As you can see here, it's now 10:42 a.m. and I've switched back to the 30-minute chart. I believe I was on the 10-minute when I paused. 30-minute chart. This is the Nasdaq I'm looking at now. You'll see. Let me just go back to that. Nasdaq very much range bound. This was the opening candle of New York, and we're sitting right in the middle of that opening candle, more or less, and certainly in the middle of this range. So there's nothing for me there on the Nasdaq. Interesting on the S&P, again, 30-minute chart. With prices rallying all the way up here through London. This is the open of London right here. This is all Asia, and rallying all the way up and continuing to rally and through the New York Open. And we're up 20 points on the S&P, or 50 basis points, half of 1%. And we're about to tap into this resistance area here from early Asia. Last night, New York time. Last evening at around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And so when we get there, I'm going to be watching these candles and see what happens there. We might have a reversal all the way down, or we could get a breakthrough and go for a zone completion attempt up here. But we'll have to see and believe what the market's telling us at that time. The Dow, let's take a look at it. Very similar configuration, of course, as we saw on the S&P with this rally from the open of London all the way through here into New York. Strong opening candle in New York. And the Dow up 289 points, or nearly 1%, 0.9%, right? So making a good move here on the Dow. Dow being only 30 stocks, right? Whereas the S&P, of course, is represented by 500 approximately. And watching these now rounding over. And if they continue to round over like that, of course, I will be looking to, well, let me just do it right now. I'm going to renegotiate the zone and refresh it, if you will, and put it there instead. I'm actually going to put this one back, guys. I'll put this one back here, and I'll tell you why. What we could get here, oops, that's not the right marker. Let's try that again. We'll put this back here just to monitor for a break and a retest, right? This is an extended move here, break. This could be a retest, and then a continuation higher, or a reversal all the way back down. We'll see, but I can get rid of this zone now. We don't need this one. No longer applies since we've had that breakthrough and eradication of that zone. All right, guys, I'll put you back on pause and bring you back as it materializes. Here we go. Pause. Hey guys, we're back, and a lot of time has passed. It's now almost lunchtime, 11:47. You'll see we're getting a breakdown here on the S&P 500, guys. S&P 500. But I'm going to take you over to the Three Sisters, and you'll see a breakdown across the board here. Structural break, and structural break on all three of them. I'm going to take you back to VWAP. We're going to look at the S&P. We'll see it there. And I'm going to take a look at Dow here for a moment. And we're going to go over to the NASDAQ. Just thinking this through here with you. Trading screen. All right. Guys, I'm going short here right now, right there. Give me one moment. Just making sure my own platform is lined up here for this. Yes. Okay, cool. And short. Bear with me here, guys. I want to make sure my brackets are sized properly. Just going to move that marker out of the way so you can, the zone marker, pardon me, and delete that so you can see what's going on here with the candles. And I am right there, 78. Yeah, okay. Short right there, guys. All right. So we are short, or I am short the S&P 500. Take you back to the Three Sisters. About to sneeze, guys. I'm going to put you on mute. Wow, it's a good thing I had you on mute. All right. NASDAQ leading the charge here to the downside. So I might have taken the wrong one. But from a structural standpoint, at the time of entry, this one made more sense. It's the 15-minute chart we're on, by the way. And so, what are we doing here? We had a break and close above resistance. I'm going to make this a nice big one so you can really see what's going on here. This is the resistance zone. One break and close, failure, and then selling off. Let's go to the 30-minute. You might see it more clearly. Yeah, this is probably a better way to look at it. So this is a thick zone because of these bodies up here from Friday at the overlap of London and New York. And then this last night at Asia, it's the Asian Open essentially. This is 8 p.m. And now the break and close, but failing to break above these very important rejection wicks, by the way, from Friday again, Friday New York session. Today is Monday. And then subsequent break below on the 15-minute chart. You see that there? Hopefully you can see that candle way inside of there. There it is, right there. I'm going to bring these candles forward. There we go. Oh, I'm showing you the wrong screen. Darn. Gotta get better at that, guys. I will keep saying that. I was talking about the support. So here's the thick resistance zone and a failure to make the that rejection wick right there. Put you on pause for the time being, guys, and I'll bring you back. Pause. All right, starting to drive down here a little bit. It's a nice move. Look for a 2-to-1 on this one. 1-to-2, guys. Take you back to the Three Sisters. You can see that drive down now, getting all the way back to New York Open. New York Open is the red line. I used to use a yellow line and a blue line. And someone in my group said they couldn't really see the blue line on the blue background very well. So I've changed both of those colors to red and white. And red and white seems to show up for everybody. So that's what I'm doing now, guys. We just so you know. If you're new here, you wouldn't know what I'm talking about, so that's fine. And back on pause. All right, we're dropping down here a little bit. Back to the Three Sisters. Nice rounding over. All three trading below their 20 EMA now. And the 20 EMA rounding over. Cleanest moves are actually on the NASDAQ. S&P close to follow, and the messiest is the Dow today, which has been the opposite, or which is the opposite of what's been happening for the last few sessions. So we trade the cleanest setups. We trade the most certain moves, and there are no certain moves in trading, of course. We look for the most optimal setups, and this is moving down nicely now. First trade of the day, guys, and we are at lunchtime. I sat through all of London, no trades, and sat through most of, all of New York so far until lunchtime. This is twilight zone when I normally go to the gym or take a 5K walk. But today, I thought I would just wait to see if this pans out here at this resistance zone. We were so range bound for the entire morning. You can see the New York session here, range bound, and then finally some kind of a move, but all within this bigger picture range. And when I go back to the 30-minute, you'll see it very clearly. There's that open range right there, very, very tight, and then finally breaking through here on the 15-minute chart, getting that break and close, and the subsequent failure. And that's the important thing there, is the failure to make it through. This would be classed as a zone reversal trade. Most of you know that I have 4 primary setups, and I've done videos on them. You can look up my 4 top setups, or top 4 setups. You can watch the video on that. But zone breaks, zone reversals, trend continuation trades, or T-con trades, and the 4th are VWAP reversion trades, or VWAP trades, period. Sometimes they're VWAP reversion, in other words, a reversion from away from VWAP, from standard deviations back to VWAP, the volume weighted average price, or VWAP reversals, where prices actually tap the volume weighted average price, and you take the trade from there in a particular direction. So that's the 4th type, is any VWAP related trades. Most of my trades, though, will have convergence. They will likely have something happening in tandem or congruently with support and resistance. So there will be a zone function in the VWAP trades as well, most of the time. I like to see several things telling me the same story before putting my hard-earned wealth at risk. All right, guys, back on pause. To move down here, guys. A little bit of... I flipped over to the 30-minute chart there. Wanted to check something. And back on pause. Getting pretty sloppy now, guys, because of I believe because of Twilight Zone. It's the lunch hour. It's 12:06. And what that means is that Germany and the UK are closed, and the North Americans are off going to lunch. Literally and figuratively, out to lunch. And so things get pretty quiet very often. Now, I will say, you've heard me talk about this in other videos, is that lately there have been some very significant moves during the Twilight Zone, during the lunch hour, after Europe is closed. And so you can't always count on sideways movement. But what I'll often do is go for a 5K walk, do it several times a week, or go to the gym and have a full-on workout, sometimes have a sauna during the Twilight Zone, because it keeps me from doing something stupid, over trading or trying to manufacture trades during a sideways or quiet period. And it also helps me to de-stress, especially when I've traded all of London and New York until lunchtime. And then, and so I'm benefiting from avoiding losing trades, so protecting my account and taking care of my physical health at the same time, and mental health, quite frankly, because of the tremendous benefits that one gets from burning the stress hormone cortisol and really energizing the mitochondria and all kinds of other things that I won't get into now. I should probably do dedicated videos on those things too, as a former certified nutrition and wellness specialist and blah blah blah. Also being raised in a home where fitness was a very, very important thing. And watching this drive now, take you back to the Three Sisters. You'll see significant weakness here now beginning to show on the 1 minute chart. Of course, things always look significant on the 1 minute chart. And very often you go back to the higher time frames, it's not much at all, but I can only talk about the relative movement here, of course, and that's what we're seeing is that change of structures we talked about, and now the follow through from that. All right, coming back, trading screen. We've now hit 1 hour. There's the 1 hour right there. Could shut this thing down for a 1 hour win. You know, since we are in power hour, I'm going to go for a 1.5 instead of a 2. It's a nice RR risk reward. I'm going to aim for that there. 17 3/4 points on the S&P. The equivalent would be significantly higher, of course, on the NASDAQ and certainly the Dow. We need one more nice push here for a 1.5 hour win. It's a 21-minute video, guys. I apologize for how long this has taken, but obviously we can't do much about that. It's the market gives you whatever it gives you. I think, fortunately for you, or for me too, have put it on pause all the way through. I've actually been on here since the open this morning, and it's now lunchtime, so you get the idea. This video has been going that long, but taking pauses all the way along. One more push here, guys, for the 1.5 hour. Let's see if we can get this thing together. Nice moves on the Three Sisters. See to that. Again, right there. This is an extended move, though. I'm very good chance of this thing pulling back for a while before actually hitting targets here. I mean, ideally, this thing would just drop by gravity during the twilight zone. Sometimes we see that. That would be nice if that happened. We need one more push down. This is the S&P. It's this one here, right? Looking for that one more push. Let's see if we can get it. Back to the trading screen. Almost there, guys. Almost there. Just being patient. No stress. Just waiting. Literally 1 point away. One more push. Testing my patience a little bit here, but that's okay. The game of impulse control, guys. The real game of trading right here. All right. And there it is. Thanks for being with me, guys. Have an amazing day. If I might see you this afternoon with another trade. Who knows? But have a great week, too, if I don't see you. But hopefully you'll come back and watch. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.